Our bassist, actually, Pablo, was probably the main guy for scheduling our gigs. He's always been sort of the behind the scenes backbone to the band. You know, he runs the MySpace. He's in the background for most of our promoting that we did ourselves, and he pretty much scheduled and got probably almost all the gigs. And as far as contacting the band, you would contact Pablo. Um, I think it was just a matter of multiple things, you know, calling around, seeing what's available, getting to know other bands, whether it be through just talking to people at random places or at our rehearsal site or at shows, and just getting connections that way and leading to other shows that way. Around here, and I'm sure lots of other places, there's I don't even know what you call them, but they're like promotion type companies or whatever that they set up gigs for local bands, and you know, you can contact them, they'll contact you, and they set up a show at a certain venue. They get so many bands to play, and that was a lot of our shows consisted of those types of setups. And other than that, it was probably just we had, you know, repeat occurrences at different venues just because we had played there before. You know, they liked us, or we put on a good show or whatever, and you know, at that point it's, you know, a new contact or whatever, or a new relationship, I guess. And you know, at that point it was a little easier to get in the door and set up a gig with them. It was mostly just our own efforts. It was through our MySpace, through making phone calls, and then you know, like I said before, we had, you know, just people who were they're just supporters of the band who basically volunteered to kind of go out there and, you know, put the word out there, whether it be through email, phone, talking to people who maybe had some sort of connection with something, or, you know, just going out and making flyers and putting them out everywhere. And all of our shows were always with other bands. Probably most of our shows, we were opening for somebody. I know there's probably at least one, maybe two shows, maybe even more. I don't know. We've played a lot of shows, so it's hard to remember. But we have headlined some shows. And I honestly couldn't tell you exactly the details of how those shows were set up. I think it was probably something to the extent of we had played there before. A venue was probably looking to set up a show on a particular night. You know, to get, obviously they want to get people there. They want to make some money, so they set up shows. And it's probably something to the effect of, you know, we had played there before. You know, we already had a relationship with this particular venue. And so kind of worked with them and set up a show with us being a headliner, and then, you know, kind of helped each other out finding whatever other bands were going to open for us. And I think we did that probably at least 2 or 3 times. It helps to, you know, to be with other bands, you know, getting to know them, playing with them, hearing what they got to play, let them hear what you got to play. It's also another way to get new fans, or as sometimes that we would put it, to steal fans. If you can go play with a bunch of other bands at a particular show and, you know, put on a good enough show, and you know, a bunch of people who had come to see some other band saw you and liked you enough, and now you got new fans. So it definitely helps in that respect, or it can. But yeah, it's always good to to play with, you know, other bands and mix yourself in with all that stuff, because it's just that much more exposure and that much more experience for yourself.